I'd like to tell you a story. This August, we hosted an international selection panel a few blocks from here. These are 3-day events where we invite candidates around the world to compete for spots in our network. This was our 54th selection panel and our first in New York. I was especially excited to meet a candidate named Lateefa Alwalaan. Lateefa grew up in Saudi Arabia, but studied for her MBA at the University of Washington, where she became immersed in Seattle's coffee culture. Long frustrated by her mother's terrible version of spicy Arabic coffee, Lateefa attempted to recreate her grandmother's recipe, but she found the process complex and time-consuming. It took 30 minutes to make the coffee. No wonder so many Saudi women are spending hours in the kitchen, Lateefa thought. She returned to Riyadh to develop an automated alternative, the Nespresso of Arabic coffee. First, Lateefa blended lightly roasted beans with 7 spices into pre-measured packages. Next, she worked with a team of local engineers to manufacture a machine that cut down the time of brewing by 75%. She took the time it took to make that grandmother's recipe from 30 minutes down to 7. Like every entrepreneur, Lateefa faced naysayers. It will never work. Who would ever buy it? Now, most of these naysayers were men. And when they went home and told their wives about this crazy woman and her useless product, the wives asked where they could buy one. You don't understand this because you don't spend time in the kitchen. I'll take those 23 extra minutes. Lateefa now sells her products through top retailers, including Williams-Sonoma and Whole Foods. This year, she'll generate close to $8 million. So here I was looking for her at our opening dinner of the selection panel, and I found her in the farthest corner speaking to Steve Case, the founder of AOL and a venture capitalist. Steve appeared trapped. Excuse me, I said to Lateefa, are you stalking Steve Case? Why, yes, I am. A woman after my own heart. In the early days of Endeavor, I too was a friendly stalker. Maybe we should have a hoot and holler from any of my victims. Steve smiled and said, I remember when I used to be a stalker. I guess now I'm the stalkee. The next day, Steve and his fellow panelists unanimously selected Lateefa to become an Endeavor entrepreneur. Stalking is an underrated startup strategy. I chose this story because I want to make a point. If you stopped people on any street in the world today and asked what an entrepreneur looked like, none would say Lateefa. They might say Mark Zuckerberg. They might say Elon Musk. What I say, what Endeavor has said for 2 decades, and what all of you say by being here tonight, Lateefa is an entrepreneur. You don't need to be a boy, you don't need to live in Silicon Valley, and you don't need a hoodie to be an entrepreneur. But just because anyone can pursue this path doesn't mean it's easy. The road is long, lonely, and full of potholes. It's easy for people to get stuck. That's where we come in. Endeavor is where dreamers and doers come to get unstuck. For our selected entrepreneurs, we provide hand-picked advisory boards. We make connections to mentors and investors. We invite them to leadership programs at Harvard and Stanford. We've even introduced several to their spouses. Endeavor is a full-service organization. And now, for the first time, we can also co-invest in their companies through our Endeavor Catalyst Co-Investment Fund. I'm pleased to announce that as of tonight, our first fund has raised $30 million. Now, we're sensitive to the struggles of entrepreneurs because at Endeavor, we've also gotten us stuck a few times. I want to briefly mention 2 tonight. By 2004, it had taken us 6 years to expand into 5 countries in Latin America. We seemed destined to remain regional. Edgar told me, "Endeavor is charming. I'd like it to become important." He agreed to become our chairman on the condition that Endeavor be in 25 countries by 2015. We would have to triple our rate of expansion. So we picked up our pace and moved into Africa and the Middle East. A few years later, we were stuck again. Then I met tonight's honoree, Arif Naqvi. Arif agreed with Edgar. You need to think bigger. Arif joined our board and invested in our expansion. Today, as you've heard, Endeavor is in 22 countries on 5 continents, but we're not there yet. We need all your help to get to 25 countries so we can celebrate together next year. Last month I published a book, Crazy is a Compliment. The book collects lessons of dozens of Endeavor entrepreneurs along with other stories to encourage everyone to be more entrepreneurial. I've spent 2 months traveling around the country, and my experience has confirmed what Endeavor's known for a long time about entrepreneurship. The biggest barriers to making change are not financial, structural, or cultural. They're psychological. The only person who can give you permission to pursue your dream is you. But entrepreneurship is not just about the startup, about getting going. It's also about the scale up, about going big. And to go big, you can't go it alone. That's my message for tonight. The power to get going lies in each of us individually, but the power to go big lies in the network, collectively. This is Endeavor's greatest insight, and it's where we play our biggest role. We build a circle of support around the most promising entrepreneurs so they, in turn, can improve the lives of countless others in their communities. The real power of our network comes from transforming lives and from changing the perception of what it means to be an entrepreneur. This is an important signal. My 9-year-old daughters, Tybee and Eden, are here tonight, and I want them to believe they can realize any dream. It's like what Jiminy Cricket tells Pinocchio, it makes no difference who you are. But they need role models who are relatable, diverse, and accessible. Thanks to our network, I now can say, girls, if Lateefa can do it, you can too. Thank you.